In today's video, I'm going to show you how I make oversized wooden lapel pins like this using an iPad, Procreate, and a Glowforge laser engraver. Want to see how it's done? Keep watching. All right guys, so for today's video, I'm gonna be using a Glowforge Pro, but we're not gonna be using the pass-through slot here, which is kind of what sets this model apart. So this tutorial is gonna work with any Glowforge model out there. If you don't have a Glowforge, maybe you wanna check one out. I do have an affiliate link down in the description below that can save you up to $500 off your purchase. That being said though, this is not a sponsored video. I'm not being paid for this tutorial, nor did I get the Glowforge unit for free. This is something I bought at full price last year to add to my art business. Something I absolutely love, and it paid for itself in the first year. Just a heads up too, got a promotional email from Glowforge the other day that said they're running up to 0% financing for 24 months through Affirm. That's through August 31st. So something to keep in mind if you're on the fence and don't want to come out of pocket up front for the full cost. Like I said, we're going to be using the iPad and Procreate to make these wooden pins, but also we're going to be using my new Kawaii brush stamp pack for Procreate, just released a couple of weeks ago. You get 500 brush stamps, makes creating super fast, super easy, and it comes with full commercial rights. So anything you make with these, you can sell. By the way, I had a few comments in my last video that I was pronouncing Kawaii wrong. Just keep in mind, I'm from Ohio, where people pronounce wash as warsh. So washing machine or dishwasher. We in Ohio literally add letters that aren't there when we pronounce English words. So my advice is don't set your expectations too high for the channel. Didn't pronounce it right the first time, and to be honest, I'm still not going to. So enough talking, let's start making some stuff. All right, so first off, we're gonna start in Procreate, and I'm gonna make a new canvas. So I'm gonna go up here to the plus button and the new canvas button here. We're gonna start out with a 3000 by 3000 pixel canvas. Now each one of these designs, I'm gonna make a few, they're all gonna be on separate canvases. If you wanted to, you could save some time by doing everything on one canvas and then import that into the Glowforge app. Honestly, I prefer doing it this way and doing them separately just so I have more control over the designs once I get them into the app. We're gonna add cut lines around the design, and doing them in the app allows us to kind of reposition them once those cut lines are on there so we can maximize our space on the wood. It's gonna save us some valuable space there and not gonna waste some material. So that's why I do them like this. It's a little bit more time consuming, but a better value down the line. So we've got this made. Now let's go ahead and start dropping in our designs with that new pack. So we're gonna begin in the holidays pack. You can see we've got all the different holidays, but we're gonna do Halloween. I've got 15 different ones here, so we're gonna do one for each. So we'll do the candy corn here starting out, and we're just gonna tap there in the center. See, super easy. It's a stamp brush, so our design just pops up. Then we're gonna grab the arrow here, and I've got snapping turned on here, so it's going to allow us to see the center lines. See those orange ones pop up? So once we've got them horizontal and perpendicular, we know it's centered on the canvas. Now we're gonna come back up to layers. We're gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna put each of the design elements on a separate layer so that way we can adjust them. So with that made then, we're gonna go back up to our library, and I'm gonna go to eyes. And we'll just go here to the top, do the round eyes. And we're gonna tap there for those. Once again, coming back up here to the arrow, we can reposition those to make sure that they're in the center. Lock those in by hitting the layer, and then another new layer then for the mouth. Coming back up to the brushes and going to mouths. And this one, let's go ahead and do wide tongue here. That way we can kind of play around with this, and I can show you some other techniques. So we're gonna grab the arrow here, get that centered. Then I've got the mouth open as far as white in the middle, so we're gonna drag the black here to fill that in. But you can see we've got that line going across the tongue, and that's one of the reasons that we made these separate layers. So we're gonna drag this and zoom in. I'm gonna come back down to the candy corn layer, and then using an eraser here, I'm just gonna erase that overlap. You can see doing these stamp brushes, super easy. I'm not even using the Apple Pencil or a stylus. I'm just using my finger to do everything. So really quick, really simple. All right, so we've got our first design. Now we want to go ahead and export this. So we're going to go up here to our wrench icon. We're going to go over to share, and then we want to share it as a PNG. We don't necessarily have to turn off the background here because once we get it into the Glowforge website, it's not going to add the white. Obviously, it's just using the black. So we don't even have to turn off the background. So PNG or ping there, tap that to export. And then from here, we just want to do save image. It's going to save it to our camera roll, export successful. So there we go. I've got the first one done, super, super quick. I'll turn all those off now, and then we'll go ahead and make a new layer. I'll do one more, and then the rest I'm going to kind of just show you after they're done. So you kind of get the idea. No reason to show every single one in real time. So we're going to go back to holidays, Halloween candy bucket, slap that on there, grabbing the arrow to get it centered here. There we go, pretty close. Back up to our layers, make a new layer here. Back up to our brush, we're going to use the eyes. And let's do the smiley eyes. Throw those in there. Grab the arrow to make sure it's centered. And then back up to layers, new layer, back to brushes, mouths, and let's go ahead and do the teeth smile on this one. Slap that in there, grab the arrow, get it centered here. Then once again, we've got that center line running down, so we just need to grab that layer 4, which is the bucket layer. Zoom in here so we can see, grabbing the eraser, we'll just erase that center, and then we're done. So back up to our wrench icon to share and export, share image, PNG or the ping there, and then we just want to save image, and that goes to our camera roll. Now we're in the camera roll, so you can kind of see the two that I just made there, and then off camera just to speed stuff up. I also made the remaining holiday brush designs here with those Halloween ones. There's 15 total. And then for good measure too, I also made this gnome. This gnome's made with a Gnome Creator stamp pack that I released earlier this year. It's got some holiday brushes in there as well, so you can make themed ones like this. I'll leave the link down below for the video introducing this one, along with the link to purchase it on Gumroad, but kind of cool design there. So we're gonna have 16 different wooden lapel pins. So let's start actually getting stuff prepped for that. To do that then, the first thing we need to do is load the Glowforge with our wood. So the wood we're going to be using today is a medium maple hardwood. This is what's called a proof grade wood from Glowforge. As you can see, there's a QR code here on the front, which we're going to talk about what that does here in a little bit once we move back to the table. And then it's also masked on the front and the back. This is important so you don't get any char marks around where the Glowforge is going to engrave. So this saves you from having to apply the tape yourself, which is a big plus. So let's go ahead, throw this in the Glowforge, get it centered, and then we'll move back to the table and get everything set up. Now that we've got the wood in the Glowforge, we're back to the iPad. As you can see, went ahead and attached the keyboard and trackpad here, just because the Glowforge website does work a little bit better with mouse control rather than touch control. So got that option, or if you want to use a laptop or desktop, you can. So let's go ahead then and upload our first design. We're gonna go to Photo Library, and we'll go down to the candy corn here. Let's go ahead and use this. And then you're going to see it's going to show uploading and processing. It's going to render our design, and there we have it. Super big though, so we need to shrink this down. So if we go down here and open up the ruler, with this on the lapel pins, I like my biggest side to be about 1.25 or 1 3/4. So we'll change the height here to 1.75, and it'll shrink it down. And then we'll just grab this guy and move him up here. Throw him right there. You see our line right here is where our cutoff is. If we go over here too far, you'll see he'll turn red. As long as he's that blue-purple color, we are good to go. So get him right there. And you'll see this is set to engrave. Also up here, you'll see medium maple hardwood is already set for what kind of wood we're using. Like I said, the Glowforge scans that QR code, automatically sets all of your settings in here as far as the laser power and how fast it should cut. One thing we do need to do though is change the engrave setting on this. We want it to look a little nice, so we're going to change this from draft photo, which is the default, over to SD graphic. Once we've got that set, then we're going to tap here, and with the create outline button selected over here, we're going to make a new outline. This by default does a 0.25 inch. We want this down to about a 0.1. So we're going to change that. And what this is going to do, you'll see the red there. This is going to cut around. So the blue here is an engrave, and then the red line is a cut, which is going to go all the way through the wood. The key here though also is we want the engrave to happen before the cut. Once the cut happens, it causes the wood to drop down a little bit. So we want to make the cut underneath the engrave. We want the engrave to happen first. And I'm going to drag and select both of these and pull them down just a little bit there from the edge. All right, so that's our first shape. And then we're going to go ahead and add a new one. So we want to import artwork here. We're going to go to Upload, Photo Library, and we'll select our second one, the pumpkin basket here. Again, uploading and processing design. And we'll scale this. Height is the widest, or the biggest, so once again, 1 3/4 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and create that outline again. Hit create new outline. Once again, that 0.25, we need to change that to 0.1, or you can even go smaller if you want. You could go 0.05. It's totally up to you how much of a gap you want in between the engraving and the cut. Then I'm going to drag and select both of these. Then we're going to move these up here. And this is why I said I do these separate, because now I have total control that I can get these really close to maximize my wood use. So I'm not wasting a bunch with gaps here in between. And then, like I said here, we're going to go ahead and drag that down underneath. So we've got the cut underneath the engrave. And then we just need to repeat this process. Just like I did the designs in Procreate, I'm going to do this off camera, so you don't have to watch every single one. So let me do that now. All right, now that we've got everything done, we are ready to print. So all we have to do is come up here, hit print. Preparing your print, then we just have to head over to the Glowforge and press the magic button. Okay, so here's what everything looks like when it's done. Let's go ahead and pull the sheet out of here, and you can see all of our final cuts are laying on the crumb tray. So I'm just gonna pick these up, take them back to the table, and get ready for the next step, which is weeding. So now we've got to pull off all that masking that's on our pins. And you can see why that masking is so important, especially around the larger burn areas like the eyes. You can kind of see that charring that we don't want on our actual wood. And having that masking on prevents that, but now of course we've got to get it off. With our wood pieces unmasked, we're now ready to attach our pins. So I got these off of Amazon, and I'll leave a link down in the description below. They come with the silver pins and then the black rubber pin backs. And then to attach these, I'm just gonna use Loctite liquid super glue, nothing fancy. And I've also laid a piece of paper down on the table just in case I drip anything. And then while we wait on these to dry, let's head over to the printer and make some backer cards for our pins. All right, so for these backer cards, we're gonna be using this 4.5 inch by 6.5 inch craft cardstock. You can get packs of this at Hobby Lobby. And then for our printer, this is the Epson SC P900 series printer. This thing is a beast. A lot of people ask me, hey, what printer should I get if I'm wanting to make stickers or if I want to make art prints? And if money's not an option, you want to invest in a printer, this would be the one. This thing's fantastic. It's wide format, so you can do up to 17-inch wide art prints. Color management is awesome, so what you see on screen is what you're going to get. And for stickers too, the colors are going to pop and everything turns out fantastic. Even these backer cards, even though we're just printing black today, hey, it's overkill, but this is what we're going to use. So let's go ahead and get the screen on here. And then we're going to go ahead and, like I said, do 2 of these per sheet. Got that loaded up, made this in Procreate. Got 8 set here, so let's go ahead and print and get started. With the cards printed and back on the table, just need to cut them in half using our handy dandy paper cutter. And then it's time to put the pins on the backer cards. So here, just trying to eyeball them as close to the center as possible, applying a little bit of pressure for the pin to puncture the card, and then putting the rubber back on. And with this, it'd be super simple to just throw the pins themselves into a mailer, send them off to your customer and call it a day. But hopefully you can see here how much more professional attaching them to this branded backing card looks. Presentation is everything, and building value in the eyes of your customers really goes a long way. Now, as good as these things look, there's one last kind of missing piece to just finish it out, give it a more professional look, and that's these zipper top bags that I get off of Amazon. So with these, we'll just pop open the top here if I can get it to open. There we go. And once again, using those 4.5 by 6.5 inch cards, cutting them in half, and then using these bags, it just fits super snug inside here. And I'll leave links to everything that I'm using in this video down in the description below if you want to check them out. Like I said, it's super snug, but it takes a second to get it lined up to slide in there. Get the back tucked in there. And there we go. Completed product ready to send to your customer. Right guys, there you go. How I make oversized wooden lapel pins using the iPad, Procreate, and the Glowforge. Video featuring 16 wooden pins, which I'm giving away to one lucky viewer. All you have to do to enter is leave a comment down below, and then on September 1st, I'm gonna pick one of the comments at random, and you're gonna get this entire 16 pack sent to your home. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. If you liked today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell for notifications so you can get alerted when I post new videos. As for me, I can be found online at BeeJayDeL.com, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at BeeJayDeL. So until next time, keep creating. As always, I appreciate you. You've got to be f***ing kidding me.